Hi, guys, and welcome to today's reading on moving past rejection. So, this video is about what you need to know, hear, or do. So, for pile one, we have fire and chalcopyrite. Group 2 is Botswana agate and validation. Group 3, earth and fluorite. And group 4, we have the third eye chakra and aragonite. So I'm going to let you guys take a moment to select a pile using your intuition, and I will see you in your reading. All right, group 1, welcome to your reading with this chalcopyrite and those who chose this fire card. This reading is for you on moving past rejection, what you need to know, hear, or do. So there is, there's like quite a few things going on here. But I'll start with this ethical awareness and this balance. It's like finding balance in your emotions. So like there's two parts to this, right? So this reading is really about finding balance, and I see her here in the water, right? So it's really like finding balance in your emotions. And then because here we have water and fire, there's a lot of water with release. We see water in this compassion card. May you tend to the suffering. And then we have the hermit. And then we have fire twice over here with fire, and then creator fire. And then we have some wands over here. So, okay, so what do we mean by finding balance? So part of it is, when I say finding balance, like I'm just getting like not being overwhelmed in emotion, right? Because here I'm seeing with this Ace of Cups of like this overwhelming, overflowing emotion that's like, that's running over the cups, and then finding balance so that you're not drowning in it, right? And so a big part of that is, spending time with your feelings, alone time, going inward, and then also releasing, right? May you lay down your burdens, like allowing yourself space to release whatever it is that's coming up for you, right? And then doing it in a very gentle and compassionate way. And I guess with that, I'm thinking about like, allowing yourself to experience the feelings that you're feeling. I'm just hearing like, and I'm just feeling like holding space, and I just felt like an expansion taking place in doing that, and just like I just got something with you're gonna know what you need to do, because I'm getting here with this number 8 is like being strong, being strong through these emotions. And what I mean by that is like also with realizing that this isn't just about releasing, this is also about creating with this fire element that's here, right? Because like fire is also a way to purify and to cleanse. And, I'm seeing it's like releasing, right? It's also another way to release. And when I'm thinking about fire as well, and this creator fire, it's not just about letting go of the past and letting go of things that have just happened, but it's like also creating space. Like that's what I mean by this expansion that I just felt is like, now what do you want to create? Like what do you want your life to look like? What do you want to add? It's like making space for the new. And I'm also getting that with this white buffalo is there it being a new time. Um, because I'm also feeling too that it's like this purge. It's not just about the rejection that occurred, right? Whatever that may be, it isn't just about releasing the disappointment for that in and of itself. It goes deeper, because I'm thinking of things like, sometimes when we're rejected, not sometimes, a lot of times when we're rejected, it brings up a lot of older, deeper wounds or things. It's like within us, right? Um, and it really brings that to the surface for us to really look at, and deal with, you know. Um, I don't know. I feel like there's something like lurking in my mind that I can't quite pinpoint, and I think that's the feeling with this need to spend time alone and see what your inner self is trying to communicate with you that needs to be released. And, you know, because again, like what I was saying about this, rejection thing is like, sometimes it's like a hit to our self esteem, our self acceptance. Okay, there we go. Self acceptance. It sometimes we can find ourselves in a place where we start picking ourselves apart, like, well, what was wrong with me? Why didn't this work? What did I do wrong? And then it can go down this rabbit hole. And whatever comes up, like when you're holding space for yourself and you're releasing, and you're, whether you're crying it out or whether you're dancing, because that was another thing that was coming through when I was laying out the cards, was Chris Brown, that Chris Brown song, we know how to party. And so with that song, like, it's not really saying like throw a party, but it's just about dancing. And then that could also be another way to release, because I'm getting, it's like a combination of like this fire and water with dancing. It's releasing, but then you're also like creating movements, and finding yourself in this flow as well. um, because two, here we have portal in reverse, infinite mind, awakening consciousness. So this ties into the fire element. And again, this is about communication, right? Intuition, communication. Number one, the magician. Um, and manifesting. That was another thing that I got when I was laying out the cards, was write it down. When I saw this card, was write it down. So maybe journaling is also a way to release, but then it's also a way to write down what you want for the future and manifest it as well, right? So like this is what I mean by this balancing as well, is like doing things that just aren't only releasing, but they're also creating. Like right now, we just mentioned writing, you know, it's releasing, but it's creating. Dancing, it's releasing, but it's also creating, movement, and things like that. So that's a big part of your reading, is finding this balance, and then finding the strength to not go too deep into the emotions of it, right? Of this release, of this rejection, but really see this as like an offering from spirit to really go inward, and to explore what's in there, and what this rejection is bringing up for you, and what needs to be released. And sometimes like the work isn't, I don't want to say it's not that hard, because it is hard, but I guess what I mean is like you don't necessarily have to do anything. Sometimes you just have to sit with it. I'm getting this feeling of like bringing the darkness to light, with this hermit, bringing light to certain things that need to be released, and then that in and of itself is the magic. I'm just hearing with the number one and the magician. That's the magic that that needs to take place, right? It's not like you have to sit there and fix this or fix that. It's almost like it's like your brain knows, like when you bring awareness to it, it knows what to do. It's like the intelligence is already built within you. Um, and oh, okay. So also too with this rattle and disperse, because with the rattle, it's like a shamanic, it's an instrument that shamans use to go into trance, right? To meditate, to journey. Also for power, calling in their power animals. So again, this is again this balance thing, and there's certain things you can do that will tick off the release and then tick off this creating and this power, um, as well, right? And so that's what I'm getting with this card. It's just really about, um, oh, and then it's also about connecting to this consciousness as well. Because even shamans, they're channels, right? So you're a channel. Um, you are a channel. We all are channels, right? We can all be channels in terms of like bringing new things into reality, bringing new things in. And so it's very infinite mind awakening consciousness. Like you can tap into this. So with this, I mean, some of you maybe look into shamanism, but for others, this could just really mean, like tapping into your power, again with dance, because shamans rattle and dance and they go into a trance. And again, it's about releasing, but it's also about, powering up. Um, and then it's also about, you know, I don't want to say connecting or meditating. It's a trance like state, right? Um, and then seeing what comes up. Um, so, so just remember, that, when you release, you're also making space to create. And this could be another opportunity for you to decide, like, what do I want my life to look like? What or what does spirit want me to do? I mean, because sometimes when we spend time alone as well, it's like those are the best times for us to connect to this like infinite mind, spirit, this great consciousness. And with this communication card and this, like, I'm getting this overflow of intuition, overflow of fire, overflow of water, overflow of blessings. And then with this, I'm getting an illumination that's going to come forward to you as well, of what you can create, what you could create, what maybe your soul or your spirit wants you to create as well. And then this new beginning with this white buffalo as well, right? And really stepping in to manifest that. So yeah, so that is moving past rejection, what you need to hear, know, or do. So I hope you guys like this. I hope it was helpful. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to see more videos, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Group 2, welcome to your reading. For those of you who picked the Botswana agate and this validation card, this reading is yours. So, okay. So, for your reading, about moving past rejection, what do you need to know, hear, or do? For your reading, I'm feeling that this is not so much a rejection. It is more of a perceived rejection. Okay, and I'll explain further as we go through the reading. Okay, I'll just start with the validation. I mean, it's, I feel like this rejection is perceived because it's more about needing validation and then not receiving that validation. So it isn't an outright rejection, but it's just, and then this has to do with like a love connection, is what I'm getting with this Lover's card in reverse. Okay, so this, I mean, there's no point really to go into all the details of it, but essentially what you need to know, hear, or do is, here we have last quarter moon in Aries. Work through your feelings, right? And then to tie this with this strength card, I mean, just look at this, right? Because here you have the option of working through your feelings, and then really trying to uncover what it is that this perceived rejection, or this need for validation, or maybe a sense of like unworthiness, or needing to hear, or whatever the case may be, right? Um, Working through it, or you can go to this person and like roar like this lion, right? I mean, I'm feeling like, and then now I'm seeing this infinity symbol, and it's like the advice here is really to leave it to spirit, and like not, and release the need to control, right? Here with this King of Swords in reverse. Release the need to control, to come out in a very aggressive sort of manner, or in a way where it's like you're speaking before you're ready. And instead of trying to change the situation, try to flow with it, like to the sea right here, right? And you see her just sort of taking a seat and letting things flow and going with the flow, and then like allowing spirit to steer the way forward, right? Because it's like with soul, here we have soul growth in reverse, right? Llama, growth is never easy. Have faith and trust in the journey, and then trust in reverse. And then here we have trust that all will be well. So there's this big message of trusting, right? Because in relationships, it's really about, like, it's a partnership, any sort of partnership. It's like the merging of two people, the merging of two needs and wants, and then creating like something new that is like, it's like a merged thing, right? So it isn't just about what one person wants or what one person needs. And sometimes it's like we have to forego, or we have to sit back and allow, and even though it feels very difficult, because it feels like this is something that you feel like you may need. But instead of demanding it, or using like force, or expressing yourself, like, or demanding, right? Or trying to control the situation, it's more about getting a new perspective on it with this Hangman in reverse of this situation, and then of trusting that this is like divinely guided, and this is for the both of you coming together. And maybe part of this has to do with divine timing as well, and timing with trust, all will be well, right? Because sometimes it's like, because I'm seeing this word journey stand out. I'm seeing her at sea, right? And it's like, well, where is she going? Like, she's just chilling. Like, she doesn't know where she's going. It looks like she's just there. She's just, you know, she's just allowing the tide to guide her. And like, I just heard lost at sea. So, you know, and now I'm thinking about ships, like travel by ships, and how long that feels like it can take, right? So it can be difficult. It can feel like it's taking very long with this person that you are, or this connection. But there's this need to trust that this is being guided, that there's some growth that wants to take place from your higher self, right? Because now I'm getting your higher self and this growth. And it's like, I'm almost feeling too, like, she's just sort of looking at this lion and is like, okay, like, I hear you. Like, we know you have to sort through your feelings, like, get it out, like, whatever. I'll be here patiently waiting for you to ease into, like, I'm almost feeling like, sorry to use this example, but that's what came to me, is like, a child that's crying and throwing a tantrum, and then sometimes you just have to like let them just get tired, right? Like, and not give in. Um, and I feel like that's what spirit is doing. It's like, there's a timing for this. Um, you know, you just have to have faith. You have to trust, and you're gonna grow in this process. And this has to do with. I'm getting a sense of self-esteem and strength, inner strength and pride. Because when I think of like needing validation, I mean, we all want validation, right? And I think it's normal to want validation and acceptance and things like that. But I mean, I guess the more that you can validate yourself, the more that, you look for, spirit's validation. The validation of knowing that you're on the right track, that you're doing the right thing. And it's like, as opposed to getting that validation from external sources, like that's where I feel like there's strength that's going to come in, and that's part of the soul growth, and this journey. Um, and it's also this growth in like timing and being resilient, you know, because that's what I'm getting with these lamas is this feeling of being very resilient and strong. Um, yeah, yeah, especially around relationships, you know. And I'm just getting to like, we all have growth to do. We all have growth to do, you know. So we're all like, I mean, we're all here to grow. Like, that's that's just what it is. And so this is the advice is, work through your feelings, see what's coming up. And then just know that, in partnerships, whether it's a friendship, or like a love or whatever, it's really like a merging of two, and creating that way. And so it's about both people. And sometimes it's about changing your perspective and going with the flow. And then I know it can be uncomfortable, but just work through your feelings, and just know that, in due time, like there's an opportunity for you to grow through this, you know. And another thing too, I just got is like, this is about um, being adaptable to change. Like that is what growth is, right? It's adapting to change. Um, and the more that you can adapt, the more that you can grow, right? Because I'm just seeing like, hey, there's levels to this, and like we're just like ascending and ascending and ascending, and um, you know, it really is about adapting to change and being able to go with the flow. And part of going with the flow again is adapting to change, right? Um, like not trying to change things out external to you. I'm thinking of the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, right? Um, so that is your reading, group 2, moving past rejection. What do you need to hear, know, or do? And I hope that this was helpful for you and brought a different perspective to you as well. So please like this video, subscribe if you'd like to see more. Take care, good luck, bye. Okay, group 3, welcome to your reading. For those of you who picked this fluorite and the earth card, moving past rejection, what do you need to hear, know, or do? So, with your reading, I'm feeling just a lot of like confusion, like the message is here, but there's like this layer on top of it that makes it very unclear. Like I'm thinking of, have you ever seen those people will use them on their computer screens? I think they're privacy, at work or something like that, and then it's like and so that people behind it's kind of blurry. So I don't know, I'm feeling like there's something very blurry. Here we have the King of Cups. Like, okay, so let me just give like the general of this reading. So this is like this rejection, I believe has to do with a relationship, right? And coming to an end suddenly, unexpectedly, um, like that sort of thing. And what I was saying about like having this layer of blurriness, like I'm just keep looking at the eyes of this King of Cups and his watch, and this having to do with time's up. I just heard time's up, um, with this death card in reverse and this ending, and just this feeling of it not being clear, why, what's going on, especially with this, I don't know, I almost was about to say this King of Swords in reverse, but this is the Alpha Centaurian foresight, planning, and strategy. I get this very King of Swords energy from this card, although it's kind of mixed with a King of Cups as well. But anyway, um, it's like there's not a clear understanding at all with why this had to come to an end, or why this person may have left, or what this huge sudden change or this upheaval was with this tower. It's just like you didn't see it coming. And you know okay, so what you need to know here or do, right? So I'm very drawn into his watch. And then it says light in the unexpected. The hanged man here, we have this man who is being crucified. And so light in the unexpected. Like I'm feeling light. I got light in the darkness, right? So I'm thinking of Jesus here, and just being a light in the darkness. And there were just a lot of things I think people at the time just did not understand. And again, it keeps taking me back to this like thing of not understanding, right? Like, and then with this earth and this death card, I get this feeling of like, everything on the earth has to come to an end. Everything must die. Here we see like this death card literally has gravestones, tombstones. I don't know what they're called. All like all over, right? And I'm seeing it in the roots, right? I'm seeing the death in the roots. So there's something that has been rooting, like something, it's just had, and like, I feel like you're looking for answers, maybe because like I'm looking for an answer, like what happened here, right? So maybe that's what you're doing. It's like you're looking for an answer, you're looking to understand, you're looking to have a different perspective on this. And it's like and I just feel like this is a very mysterious energy that I'm getting here, a very spiritual one with Jesus, and this being the darkness and the light, and then light in the unexpected, and this tower. A lot of times we don't know why this tower or these major changes occurred. Like we don't understand it. We just know that this is part of like the life, and that change is a part of life, that everything is in movement, everything is growing, everything is dying, everything is like these cycles. Like I just heard the cycles of life, like season cycles and things like that, and that's just how it is. Like there's so much, and I keep getting drawn to what's beneath the surface here, the roots. Just know that whatever, there are things growing beneath the surface that you don't see right now, that are going to spring up. And I feel like they need to be watered by faith and belief, right? Here we have brilliant beliefs, luminous life force, personal power. I feel like there's seeds, there's roots, there's things that like ended and were sort of like, for example, using like a forest or trees, is like things were uprooted, things were removed, things were cleared out, you know, buildings were demolished, things like that, right? And in its place, there are seeds taking root. However, in order for like the secrets or whatever is beneath it will be revealed. Oh, you know what I just got? Have you ever got like, I don't know, this reminds me of when I was a kid. You know, when you buy a bunch of seeds from the store and then it's just like a bunch of seeds all together, and then you just plant them, and then it's like, well, what's actually going to take root, what's going to grow, like you don't really know, right? I don't know if they still have those, but I remember as a kid, it's like all these different seeds like mixed together, you just plant them, and then you don't know what's going to come up, but it's like the secret of what's beneath, that's going to come up. Oh, and I just heard Agartha, like the center of the earth. So like and that's where you have to send, oh my God, I'm getting so much right now. You're going to end up channeling so much, and realizing so much, but there's stuff at the center. I'm getting the center of the earth. It's like you have to send your power there. You have to send your intentions there. You have to change your beliefs. Even though you don't have the foresight to see what it is that's growing, you just have to know and believe that it is, right? And it's like, and you have to believe in this ending. You have to believe in these changes. And just know that there is light in the unexpected. Just know that there is light in the darkness, like this, and that change is a big part of life, and the secrets of what is beneath the surface will be revealed, and it is going to be very, very abundant. Like, look at this is the Queen of Sheba, you know, very, very rich, very, very abundant, you know. I just think of like her coming to Solomon and like bearing gifts. And it's like, I feel like there's this sense of, you know, so much gifts coming to you as a result of this rejection. And you know, really, it was just an ending. And I almost feel like with this rejection that we're talking about, it's more one that I feel like for some of you guys, it's more just like that something had to come to an end. You know, it was just time's up, you know. Like it's, you know, a relationship that had to come to an end. It had an expiry date. I don't see this as this person outright rejecting you. I could see this as being a situation where you guys grew apart, where maybe there were so many issues, like I just heard irreconcilable differences, and from growing apart, maybe there was just what stood out was like just a difference of like hopes for the future, plans for the future, which I'm getting with this Alpha Centaurian in reverse, which to me is like, for some reason, the King of Swords is like, you guys maybe couldn't see eye to eye, or on what the plans are for the future. You know, maybe this person wasn't a planner. It could be so many different things, but it's like there is stuff that is in the works for you. You know, and maybe this is where you've been setting your intentions, right? Like maybe you don't even know you've been manifesting this new beginning this whole time, right? Um, not maybe, you have been manifesting a new beginning, and it's almost like I just heard be careful what you wish for, because, and I don't want to tell you to be careful what you wish for, but I'm just saying that in the sense, like the way that I heard it and the way that I understand it is that, you know, say you want something, is like, you know, God will be like, all right, that's what you want, cool, we got to clear this certain stuff out in order for you to have that. And it's like, well, how bad do you want it, you know? And you know, because it's like it's going to reveal itself, and you are going to get it, whatever it is that you've been asking for, consciously, subconsciously, whatever the case is. But it's like it has, you know, this scenario, this situation had to come to an end, and it had to change, you know, even though it's difficult, and it caused such a huge like change, like the foundations I'm talking of your life have had to change because of this. But that's sort of what needs to take place, right? And so, brilliant beliefs. So just believe, believe that. And it's just so beautiful. Like, this card is so beautiful to me. Just the way I see this leopard just looking up, at the sky. It's like he's in awe of something, or she's in awe of something. There's something so magical about this, and the number 9 is this ending. And I just feel like once these things become revealed, like what's beneath the surface that's brewing, this new seeds that are going to really take root and start to grow and bud, it's like you're going to be in awe. Like, I'm just seeing this. Can you see him just in awe, looking up? I'm getting the image of, have you ever seen like a bunch of cats and then somebody like up above them is moving something around and you see their heads just moving around? Like, I don't know why I just thought of that. But it's something that, like, I'm getting it, like, in the sense of, like, it's going to be so captivating. I don't know. There's something very abundant and captivating that's going to come in for you. So yeah. So that's your reading, group 3. And I think that, like, feelings of rejection can definitely be triggered with these endings, right? Oh, another thing I just remembered. See group 4 if you were drawn to it as well, because when I was laying out the cards, like, I haven't done the reading for group 4 yet. I'm about to, but it's the third eye chakra, and it's like I just got this feeling of, like, what I was gonna say is the rejection can feel like the rejection with an ending can be, okay, I can't even explain it right. The feeling of rejection can be triggered within you just based on an ending. And it's like, well, why did that have to end? Even though you know why it had to end, but it still triggers that in you. Like, I don't know, it can still do that. So, check out pile 4, because I feel like with this reading, I'm feeling a very spiritual element of, like, this had to end for something else to come in. There is light in the darkness. Things grow in the darkness, right? Seeds take root in the darkness, and things like that. So anyways, that's your reading, group 3. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you in some way. Please give me a like, subscribe to see more videos like this. Take care. All the best. I love you guys. Bye. Group 4, welcome to your reading. Those who pick this pink aragonite and third eye chakra, this is your message. And if you are arriving from group 3, welcome as well. Also, group 4, as I was laying out the cards, I was told to let you guys know to check out group 3 if you were called to, because there could very well be a message in there for you as well. So, moving past rejection, what do you need to know, hear, or do? Okay, so your reading, is having to do with a relationship, right? We have the Queen of Swords, the King of Pentacles, this 5 of Wands right here with the 2 people back to back, sort of their arms crossed in conflict, and they're just sort of like standing there, like it almost feels like a silent conflict. And you know what I mean by a silent conflict? I mean, it's not one where there's like a screaming match or there's disagreements or fighting, or, it could very well be, but from this, I'm picking up like this lack of motion, this, like, it's like a stalemate. It's like, okay, well, we're just gonna both, turn our backs and, face another direction. Because here we have the universe rewards motion. What guided action can you take today, right? So with this, I'm getting like a lot of inaction. There's a lot of inaction in this connection between these, I see you as the Queen of Swords, in this reading, whether you're male or female. But that is your energy, and then this King of Pentacles energy is this other person. Like, that's what I'm feeling. And the fact that they're put as like this King of Pentacles, I mean, I don't want to read too much into them, but I'm getting this vibe of like, you view them as this King of Pentacles. They may not necessarily be a King of Pentacles, right? In the sense of like, they have their money right, or, they're very, like committed or seeking commitment. Okay, the reason why I say that is because I was laying out the cards. I was getting that Beyonce song, like, single ladies, like, if you like it, then you better put a ring on it. I just kept hearing like, you saying to this person, like, if you like it, then you better put a ring on it. Like, that's it. We're at a stalemate. Like, and it doesn't have to necessarily be an engagement or taking it, but it's just this idea of taking it to the next level of commitment, right? Whatever that is. Maybe you guys are just dating, and then now you want something more solid, or you guys are, dating, and then now, or you want to be in a relationship, or you're in a relationship and now you want to be engaged, or like, it's just taking it to the next level, right? And there's just like this, lack of action, being at odds, that sort of thing. So, this is registering as a rejection, right? Because here we have Lilith, face your shadow. So it's like there's things in your shadow that is registering this scenario as a rejection. There are things, and again, I'm feeling this sense of like unspokenness, right? And I could also be with this Lilith card here, with Lilith being, these parts of you that are in your shadow that don't want to come to the surface. Like, there's things that could be hidden from view, right? Because when I think of the shadow, I'm thinking of like things that are hidden from view, things that you just haven't uncovered or shed light on yet. And then there's things that like you don't even want to touch, right? You don't even want to admit to thinking that, believing that, having that in you, right? And that's this Lilith sort of element here. Things that are like so taboo, things that are just like, you don't want to come out. And that's where I'm getting the sense of like not wanting to come out and say certain things, and it's like, you don't necessarily have to say anything to this person or this individual. What I'm getting here from Spirit is, with this eight of wands, and here we have this bow and arrow, and this man with his bow and arrow. It's like, this is a major symbol for me of, what's meant for you is meant for you. And like, God will have a way of getting to you what is truly meant for you, And right now, what I'm hearing is that what is meant for you right now is to put up some boundaries with this person, and almost like, don't even focus. It's like, don't even focus on this person right now. With this universe rewards motion, it's like, it's time to take action. We have this Ace of Wands right here, right? And so it's this new beginning. And again, here you have the third. Okay, we can't ignore this part. This is what we're getting to next. Okay, so we have the third eye chakra. I'm seeing this eye right here. We have this Ace of Wands with this fire over her third eye. It's like this intuition. We have Avalon Priestess again with the moon. Look at this crescent moon on her forehead and above her head. I have this peacock feather with this, looks like an eye. It's just like, staring right at me as well. And then we have drum and awaken, right? So it's really about awakening. Okay, so you guys could be at different levels of this awakening. You could be at the beginning stages with this ace, right? You could be further along, and it's like, now it's time for further ascension in your intuitive abilities, in your psychic abilities. Not just that, but also in your speaking, your throat chakra, your communication. Because here I could see, like, I'm really being drawn to these two parts right here in her throat, and then also with Lilith in her heart, and speaking what's in your heart, and you don't have to speak it to this person necessarily, but there's this thing that it needs to be expressed in some sort of way. And I feel like, oh, you know what I just got to? is with this Queen of Swords is like, I'm sure, some of you guys have heard that saying, like, don't quote me precisely on how it is, but something like you can't heal in the same place or in the same environment that, caused whatever damage to you, right? And that isn't to say that this individual, this King of Pentacles, caused damage to you, but it's this environment where you're hurting, where you're at conflict or you're at odds, and that you're stagnant and you're stuck, you know? And I'm also getting too is that, like, I'm getting a lot of intuitive messages now because I think that you guys are extremely, extremely intuitive. And and it's like with this drum, it's like this calling. I could just hear it like boom, boom, boom. Okay, we're calling. Like, it's almost like a horn or a trumpet. It's like you're being called, and now is your time to take steps towards this uncovering. And it's also very magical. There's something very magical about you with this candle, you know? And I just see her with her hand, like, I don't know, and just having some type of, okay, healers, psychics, intuitives, shamans, witches, all these sorts of, I was going to say professions, but maybe for some of you guys, this could be something that you can have a profession or a career or make money out of. Like, that's the level that you're on, and or that you're meant to be on. And that's what's going to find you. So it's like, I'm just getting this real big thing of like, don't be at a stalemate. If you've been waiting on this person, if you've been stuck with this person, or just at odds with this person, just like put up some boundaries. Maybe cut their ass. I heard cut their ass off. Some of them, right? I mean, it's going to be for you to, again, check in with your intuition and see what has to, see what has to be done. But a big thing is also always remember, like, what's meant to happen will happen, and it will find you. Like, even if you do put up certain boundaries so that you can allow for space, because even with this Aragonite, I'm getting this sense of like needing peace, needing calm, needing like this serenity. Like, you need this serenity in order to develop your psychic abilities, or to really tune into your inner self, and what your third eye, or what your inner vision, what God is trying to send messages to. Like, I'm getting this thing of like, okay, how do I explain this? Oh my God, I just had this feeling of like, in order for you, like, okay, as God is trying to communicate with you, Spirit's trying to communicate with you about this awakening, it's like he's going to be teaching you as he's awakening you about your psychic abilities. So it's like the first thing is that you need some calm and peace, right? You can't have like your mind going like, all over the place, which is what conflict can do, right? Or conflict does. And if you're going to be in this state of conflict with this person, even if you're not outwardly like fighting with them, but see how like their backs are turned, and your mind is going like, well, what's going on, da da da, blah blah blah, like all this stuff's like hitting you. It's like occupying space in your mind, right? All this stuff and it's like, I'm just hearing like, like, put up some boundaries. Just say like, okay, if it's gonna work out, it's gonna work out. I'm gonna take a step maybe in a different direction, with the universe rewards motion. What guided action can you take today? What can you do today? And then start to focus on like creating this new beginning, and looking at maybe some of the things that this relationship or this connection brought up for you in your shadow. And what I was trying to say is like, as you're awakening, like, you're going to be taught along the way about, because it's like, you're going to be learning through your intuition. So your intuition's going to grow, right? As you continue to awaken, and things like that, right? So as you ascend. So yeah, so like that's what I'm getting with what you need to know, hear, or do about moving past this rejection. And I think, when I hear rejection, I keep looking at Lilith, and I think that this individual, maybe it was just a question of timing with this individual. I'm also getting, maybe they just need a bit more time, right? But your shadow is registering rejections, right? And it's like, well, why aren't you sure? Why don't you know? Like, you know, it could be many different things, because with this snake, I'm getting this level of like deception as well. And I don't necessarily mean deception on that person's part. It could be deception in like, how you're perceiving this conflict, right? And it could very well be that spirit wants you to take time out to, because the time is for you to awaken. You have intuitive awaken, and then it's like all this psychic stuff, all this intuitive stuff, third eyes and blah blah blah, right? It's a lot. I just had to sigh it out. It's a lot. This is a lot of stuff, right? And so this is why, this aspect, of this shadow and this awakening is pretty intense. And the last thing, it's like you have to be at peace. You got to be at rest, you know, to be able to really like receive, like, now I'm just getting this crown chakra, like for the stuff to actually be able to like penetrate or permeate. That was the word, permeate through, right? So yeah, so that is what you need to know, hear, or do. Group 4, please like this video, subscribe to see more videos like this. Take care, guys. Bye.